There are a few people that never got to meet their grandparents, or not even care to meet their grandparents. A lot of people don't even care about seeing their grandparents or anything, or just abusing the grandparents, I guess, the resource of getting stuff from them. The greatest man I ever met in my life was my grandpa, and taught me a lot about life and about living. He's the man that inspired me to do what I'm doing now for school, and a lot of things that got me through a lot of personal hardships in my life. On January 2nd, 1934, the greatest man I ever met was born in Whiteland, Indiana. He was born in a small town, and he grew up really poor. He worked really hard for his money, and he sat down in a store every morning before going to, or just hanging out with his buddies. And the farmers would come along and be like, "Hey, I need some boys to come help me pick some peppers or pick some tomatoes," and he would go, he would do it. So that's how he earned his money. It was hard work, long hours, but he did it, and he earned his money and his living. When he was 17 years old, he dropped out of school and decided he didn't want to do it no more. He's working full time for a farmer up in Indiana, and that the farmer said he didn't like what he was thinking. He said, you need to stay in school, and so my grandpa went back to school and finished out his high school. And then when he was 17 years old, he joined the Air Force. His mom signed for him to join the Air Force early. When he was stationed in Smyrna, he had a buddy come down and say, "I need a ride. I need to go meet this girl." So my grandpa volunteered, said, "Yeah, sure, I'll take you," because he was the only one with a car. No one else had a car then, or no one around that his buddy knew. So he drove all the way here to where I live now, to a cabin, and he was the guy that was meeting the girl was a sister, but when he pulled up, the way my grandpa said it, he said he met the most beautiful girl he'd ever seen in his life. And he said it was the most beautiful thing when he pulled up. There was my grandmother sitting on the front porch, just got done picking blackberries. Says the most perfect moment ever met, and ever since then they clicked. They used to write letters before they got married, and it's awesome, awesome just hearing about a true love. Well, they were married, and in 1955, and they moved all around the country. He was in the Air Force, of course, and they were in California, where my aunt was born, and back in Smyrna, where my mother was born. And when they moved there, he went to Philippines, and he went to Vietnam twice. And my grandma's family, my great grandmother, they were going to sell the farm, so my grandpa decided to buy the farm, sent back money, and decided just to want to buy the farm. And they moved back in 1971, and that's when my grandpa started farming, where he farmed tobacco, raised cattle, did a little bit of road cropping. He did it all. And in 1976, he started his own trucking company. And my mom can recall being taking the books up for the farming and doing that stuff, and she told me a lot of things about what she actually did for the trucking company. And my grandpa, he never let anything get to him. As many times as hardships would fall, he just never let anything affect him in any way. He was always kept a great mind, open mind, and he never let anything get him down. He My aunt came home one day from nursing school and said she just couldn't do it no more. It was the hardest thing she'd ever done. My grandpa said, "Well, I'll make you a bet. I bet you I can do it." Well, that's how my grandpa became a registered nurse after that, because it was all a bet on my aunt. So he became a nurse for several years until he finally stopped doing that and he kept on farming. But my grandpa was the best man I've ever met. My best friend, my dad. I mean, he raised me. He taught me to be the man that I am today. And currently, I'm taking over the farm, doing a lot of stuff. But he's set me down, and he's told me many of times how to do things. And he was a great man. He'll always be in my head. And the facial expressions he used to make, just random things he would do and say, it still pops up in my mind when I'm frustrated when I'm working on something. But he was a great man, and I'll always remember him and what he always taught me. So this is for him, and that's it. Thank you.